Hi there! In today's video, we're going to talk about multiplying fractions. Let's start with the first word problem here. Jenny went to the pool. 125 other children were at the pool that day. Jenny noticed that only 1/5 of the children brought a floaty. How many children brought a floaty to the pool? First step in a word problem is we want to make sure to underline all the information we're given. We have, in this case, 125 other children were at the pool, and 1/5 of the other children brought a floaty. And the question is asking how many children brought a floaty to the pool. I know that I have a total of 125 other children besides Janie, and 1/5 of those children, which is 125, brought a floaty, and the question is asking what this will be equal to, basically. How many children brought the floaty? Anytime you see a fraction of a number or a fraction of a total, the of is a keyword that means multiply. So I need to multiply 1/5 times 125. Whenever I multiply a fraction and the whole number, I want to make sure that both numbers are fractions. And to do that, we have 1/5. We said of means multiply, and then I have 125. 125 in this case does not have a denominator. So to make it into a fraction, I'm going to put 1 as a denominator. And I could do that because 125 divided by 1 is the same thing as 125, so I'm not changing its value. Now that I have two fractions, so I'm going to multiply the numerator times the numerator, which is the top number, and the denominator times the denominator. Denominator is the bottom number. 1 times 125 is 125, and 5 times 1 is 5. Now, I gotta make sure that this fraction is in the simplest form. To do this, remember in the previous videos, we said that there are three numbers that when I simplify, I usually start by considering. Those three numbers are 2, 3, and 5. If I could divide the numerator and the denominator by 2, 3, or 5, then I will do that to simplify. If they don't work, I could think of other numbers to divide by, but usually it's one of those numbers. So in this case, if I tried dividing by 2, I know that 5 could not be divided by 2, so that cannot work. I can try dividing by 3. I also know that 5 cannot be divided by 3, so that's not going to work. I could try dividing by 5, and that should work. As a rule, usually numbers that end in 5 could be divisible by 5. In this case, 125 divided by 5 is 25, and 5 divided by 5 is 1. 25 divided by 1 is 25. So my answer would be 25 children brought a floaty to the pool. Let's try another problem. In this problem it said Sandy collected 100 seashells at the beach. She gave 1/5 of what she found to her sister. How many seashells did Sandy give to her sister? I will start again with underlining all the numbers. I know that Sandy collected a total of 100 seashells, and she gave 1/5 of what she found, which were the 100 seashells. So she gave 1/5 of the 100 seashells to her sister. The question is asking me how many seashells did she give to her sister, which is 1/5 of the total. The of is the important keyword in this case. It means to multiply. So I need to multiply 1/5 times 100. 1/5 is already a fraction, but 100 is not. So to make it into a fraction, we're going to put a denominator of 1 because that's not going to change the value. Now I'm going to multiply the numerators together and the denominators together. 1 times 100 is 100. 5 times 1 is 5. The last step would be to simplify this fraction. I could try dividing by 2. 100 could be divided by 2, but 5 can't. 100 cannot be divided by 3, and so is the 5. I could try dividing by 5, and that will actually work. If I divide the numerator and the denominator by 5, that will give me 20 over 1, which is the same thing as just 20. So if I want to put this in a sentence, complete sentence, I would say Sandy gave 20 seashells to her sister. So to recap, when you see the keyword of, fraction of something means fraction multiplied by something. You want to make sure when you're multiplying that you're working with two fractions. If you have one whole number, make sure to add the denominator of 1. And after you have two fractions, we're just going to multiply the top number by the top number and the bottom number by the bottom number, which is the numerator times numerator and the denominator times the denominator. And last but not least, we're going to simplify this fraction if it could be simplified.